Right now, as you are listening to this, there is a bird in your yard that is talking about you. This is not a metaphor, it is not poetry, it is science. Birds possess a communication system so sophisticated that researchers have spent decades trying to decipher it. And what they have discovered in recent years has changed everything we thought we knew. The birds in your garden don't just sing, they inform, they alert, and they evaluate. An important part of that conversation is about you, about who you are, about how dangerous you are, and about whether they can trust you or not. Science has just confirmed it. This is bird science. To understand what birds say about you, you first need to know something fundamental. Birds don't have just one type of song. They have several, and each one means something completely different. There is the territorial song, the one you hear at dawn when a cardinal climbs to the highest branch and sings with all its might. That is not joy, it is a warning. It is saying, this space is mine. If you are another cardinal, stay away. There is the courtship song, softer and more elaborate, designed to impress a mate. But there is a third type of sound that is the most important for this story, and it is not a song, it is a call. Calls are short, fast, and very specific sounds, and they are the true language of birds. There are contact calls. One bird says to another, I am here, where are you? And the other replies. It is like a text message between birds, brief, direct, and constant. There are alarm calls, and these are the ones that involve you directly. Every time you go out to the yard, the birds evaluate you in less than 2 seconds, and depending on what they decide, they emit a different call. If they know you and know that you are harmless, the call is short and soft, almost a whisper. It is the equivalent of saying, it is the usual person, relax. But if they don't know you, or if you do something unexpected, the call changes completely. Black-capped chickadees have one of the most studied alarm systems in the world, and what scientists discovered is extraordinary. The chickadee has an alarm cry that sounds something like chick-a-dee-dee. Those syllables at the end, the D's, are not decoration, they are encoded information. The more dangerous the intruder, the more D's it adds at the end. A large owl perched on a branch generates a chick-a-dee-dee, 2 syllables at the end, representing moderate danger. But a small owl that is more agile and more lethal for a bird of its size generates a chick-a-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, 5 or more syllables, maximum danger. It is not a generic cry of fear, it is a detailed report of the threat level with specific data encoded in the number of syllables. And here comes what will leave you speechless. That system is not exclusive to chickadees. Other birds understand it. Nuthatches hear the chickadee's alarm and react. Wrens hear it and hide. Robins hear it and change their behavior. Even squirrels respond to the chickadee's alarms. It is an interspecies communication network, an invisible internet that operates in real time above your head, and you are part of the conversation without knowing it. When you go out to your yard in the morning, this is what happens in the first 30 seconds. The first bird that sees you emits a call. That call contains information about you, about your size, about your speed, and about whether you represent a threat. That call travels from tree to tree, from bush to bush, from fence to fence. In a matter of seconds, every bird within a 50-meter radius knows that you went out to the yard, knows if you are known or unknown, and knows if it should worry or not. All that in less than half a minute. And you didn't even hear it, because to you it was just a bird singing. But the conversation doesn't end there. Researchers discovered something even more fascinating. Birds not only communicate danger, they also communicate safety. When a bird eats peacefully at your feeder, the birds watching it from the branches interpret that as information. If that sparrow eats without fleeing, it means there is no threat. It is safe to approach. Scientists call it an inadvertent social signal. The bird that is eating is not trying to communicate anything, but its behavior transmits a message as clear as any alarm call. And that explains why when one bird starts eating in your yard, others follow suit. It is not a coincidence. It is reading social information in real time. Your yard is a constant flow of data. Every movement, every sound, every silence, everything is information that birds process, share, and use to make decisions. And there is a deeper level that science is barely beginning to understand. Birds have what researchers call the soundscape of fear. It is the auditory map that birds build of their environment based on the sounds they hear. When your yard is quiet, with soft songs and relaxed contact calls, the soundscape says everything is fine. The birds relax, go down to the ground to eat, bathe, and preen. But when something changes, when an alarm sounds, the soundscape transforms. The songs stop, the contact calls disappear, and a heavy silence falls over the garden. That silence is not empty. It is the most powerful alarm signal that exists in the bird world. When all the birds in your yard go quiet at the same time, something has just entered the garden. A cat, a hawk, or a stranger. And silence is the most efficient way to say, danger. Everyone stay still. Nobody move. If you ever noticed that your yard went completely silent all of a sudden, it wasn't a coincidence. It was a collective, coordinated, instantaneous decision, and you were probably the cause without knowing it. So let's go back to the original question. What do the birds in your yard say about you? If you are a person who comes out slowly, who doesn't make sudden noises, and who feeds the birds regularly, the conversation about you is brief, a short and soft call that says, it's the usual person, everything is fine. But if you are unpredictable, noisy, or if your cat goes out with you to the yard, the conversation is different, longer, more intense, with more alarm syllables, and it spreads further. Your reputation among the birds in your neighborhood is updated perfectly for another day. Every time you go out to the yard, every time you make a movement, you are being evaluated, reported, and classified. And the most fascinating thing of all is that this conversation never stops. From the first song of dawn to the last sound before night, your birds are talking, they are reporting, and they are building a collective image of everything that happens in your garden, including you. The next time you go out to the yard and hear a bird sing, listen carefully because it is not singing for itself. It is talking about you with the others in a language that is millions of years old and that science is finally beginning to decipher. If you want to know which are the smartest birds that visit your garden and how far their communication capacity really goes, we will see that in the next video. If this story changed the way you listen to the birds in your garden, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the hidden history of the natural world that surrounds us. Let's protect the future of our environment. The next treasure of knowledge will be revealed soon. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever noticed your yard go completely silent all of a sudden? Now you know why. See you in the next one.